If you think lions are the top predators of the African savanna, just wait until you see a pack of African wild dogs in action. They do not roar, they do not stalk in silence. But every time they hunt, the whole savanna holds its breath. They do not have the massive build of a lion, they do not have the explosive speed of a cheetah, and they certainly are not as intimidating as a hyena. But the African wild dog, also known as the African painted dog, is the most successful land predator in the animal kingdom, with a hunting success rate that reaches nearly 90%. That is an unbelievable number when compared to lions, which average around 30%, or cheetahs, which manage just about 20%. So what makes these animals so terrifyingly effective? The answer lies in something not every predator has: absolute discipline, and a level of teamwork that seems to be hardwired into their very blood. They do not hunt alone, and they do not act on impulse. Every hunt is a well-organized mission. Every member has a position, a task, and moves in sync, as if the entire pack is a living machine driven by flawless strategy and instinct. With their lean bodies, oversized bat-like ears, and coats splashed with bold patterns, African wild dogs are among the most efficient hunters on Earth. On average, they weigh between 40 and 80 pounds, or about 18 to 36 kilograms, and are just under 3.6 feet long, or about 1.1 meters. But despite their small size, they possess something lions and cheetahs lack: near-perfect coordination. They do not need brute strength or lightning speed. Their weapon is the power of the pack and military-level discipline in every move. Each of their hunts feels like a symphony of speed and tactics. There are no barks, no obvious signals, yet they move together like they have been trained their entire lives. Some approach from the left, others force the prey right, while one or more dogs follow closely behind, ready to take over if the target shifts direction. What sets them apart from other predators is their ability to maintain speeds over 37 miles per hour, or about 60 kilometers per hour, for extended periods. They do not rely on a killer leap like a lion, or deadly silence like a cheetah. They just run, relentlessly, until their prey is exhausted, collapses, and gets taken down in seconds. Unlike many predators that thrive on solo power plays, African wild dogs shine through community. A pack can consist of 10, 20, or even more than 30 individuals. But here's the unique part: only one dominant male and one dominant female, the alpha pair, are allowed to breed. The rest, regardless of age or gender, give their all to raise the alpha's pups as if they were their own. When the alpha female gives birth, usually to 6 to 12 pups, the whole pack shifts into all-hands-on-deck mode. Some stay behind to guard the den, others go out hunting, and some bring back food and regurgitate it for the young. Even the old and weak are never left behind. Every member lives, fights, and survives as part of one unified survival machine. Their affection for one another goes beyond just sharing food. When a member is injured, others will lick the wound, protect them, and even feed them until they recover. These behaviors have left scientists stunned, as they show a deep emotional bond, not commonly found among most predators. In a world where survival often means outcompeting others, African wild dogs have taken a different path: the path of absolute cooperation. And that is exactly what makes them true masters of survival. Their menu is nothing short of impressive. African wild dogs do not go for the easy catch. They can take down agile, powerful hoofed animals like impalas, kudu, zebras, warthogs, and even young African buffaloes. These are prey that are highly alert and fiercely defensive. Once a pack selects a target, they isolate it from the herd and take turns chasing it, strategically draining its energy. No need for a head-on clash, no need to be the strongest. Just relentless, precise pressure until the prey collapses in chaos. Here's something interesting. African wild dogs do not eat carrion. They only eat fresh meat hunted by their own pack, reflecting a strong sense of independence and self-reliance. While hyenas and vultures may survive on leftovers, wild dogs rely solely on the fruits of their own effort. That is why every meal they have is a true achievement, a reward earned through teamwork, persistence, and extraordinary discipline. Despite their impressive hunting and social skills, African wild dogs still face fierce enemies, creatures that can wipe out an entire pack in the blink of an eye. Their most dangerous rival is the lion, not just because lions are powerful, but because they view wild dogs as direct competition for both food and territory. Lions often steal their kills and will even slaughter entire litters if they find a den. And here is the chilling part: lions do not eat the wild dogs. They kill them just to eliminate the competition, a cold, strategic move in the wild. Spotted hyenas also pose a serious threat. In many ways, hyenas resemble wild dogs in pack structure and hunting behavior, but they have stronger jaws and are far more aggressive. If wild dogs are outnumbered, hyenas will dominate, steal their food, or even kill off isolated members. However, when wild dogs have the numbers and coordination, they can fight back and sometimes even drive the hyenas off in chaos. But not every fight is worth having. African wild dogs are experts at picking their battles. They avoid baboons, highly intelligent primates that live in troops and fiercely protect one another. A single adult baboon can cause serious injuries if cornered. They also steer clear of honey badgers, small, fearless, and famously ferocious creatures willing to fight to the bitter end against any threat. In the wild, African wild dogs know better than to waste their strength on targets that are not worth the risk. Beyond their battles for survival, African wild dogs continue to amaze researchers with the complexity of their body language. They have an incredibly sophisticated system of communication, ranging from whistles and chirps to head tilts and ear licks meant to calm each other. When one of their own dies, the pack does not just move on. They pause, gather around, sniff, lick, and sometimes whimper softly, a clear sign of mourning that scientists are still trying to fully understand. And there is one more thing. When they feed, African wild dogs do not fight over food like lions or hyenas. They follow a respectful order, from the alpha pair to the injured and elderly. Everyone gets their share. While most predators are driven by competition, wild dogs display a rare sense of fairness and generosity in the harsh world of nature. Despite being masters of survival, their greatest threat is not a lion or a hyena, it is us. Hunting, poisoning, habitat destruction, and rabies from domestic dogs have caused their numbers to plummet. Today, it is estimated that fewer than 6,000 African wild dogs remain in the wild. A deeply alarming number for a species that once ruled vast savannas. In the animal kingdom, it is not the strongest who survive, it is the ones who adapt best. African wild dogs do not need brute strength. They do not need to roar to command fear. What they have is strategy, unity, and a heart that beats for the whole pack. That is what has made them one of the most successful hunters on Earth, and one of nature's finest examples of how life thrives through community, discipline, and compassion. If you found today's story fascinating and want to keep exploring more incredible and little-known creatures in the wild, do not forget to subscribe to the channel so you will not miss out on upcoming journeys. Thank you for watching and see you in the next video.